was inducted into the Saints Hall of Fame in 1994. And he had a great career, 27 touchdown catches, fifth in the league in touchdowns in 1977, Pro Bowl choice in 79 when he was first team All-NFC. Saints, of course, beat the Falcons yesterday, handing them their first loss, 31-27. He was there, watched. I know he has thoughts. And they play at Oakland against the Raiders this coming Sunday afternoon. Please give a warm quarterback club welcome to Saints Hall of Famer Henry Childs. Henry?
Thanks, Ken. I want to thank Ken for inviting me this weekend because, you know, I hadn't seen a Saints Falcons rivalry in a long time. And so it's been a great weekend. How about those Saints? And I was pulling for them all the way because, you know, when it comes down to the Saints and Falcons rivalry, you throw away all the records. Anything happens. I've seen balls hit the uprights and jump out, back out the field goal, from a field goal to a Hail Mary pass. And, you know, it's just amazing, you know, how each time these games are so different, but they come out pretty much close each time. And I say it's been a great weekend because I spent Sunday morning before the game in the Saints Hall of Fame, which Ken has done a great job. I really, you know, enjoyed being there and signing autographs for the new fans. Now, it did make me, at 62, feel a little old because I met some of the younger fans. I was meeting grandkids, great-grandkids, and so at 62, I said, "Wow, I'm getting old." and I really don't feel like I'm getting old, but it was really a great weekend meeting all those younger fans and I met fans like 6 years old, 12 years old, 15 years old, and it just shows me and tells me that, hey, the Saints fans are still the greatest fans ever. You know, I ended up in Green Bay. I ended up in Atlanta. I ended up out in LA with the Rams, and I have not met any greater fans yet. So, you know, I think we need to give a hand to the Saints fans because they have been there through thick and thin. I mean, you know, from the bags on the heads to the Super Bowl. So, you know, I have to give them some great respect. Now, as far as the game concerned, you know, I think they can do the job. I think the Saints can, you know, possibly pull out a wild card, but it's going to be a hell of a job to do. Because what I saw yesterday on the offensive end, I saw a lot of mistakes. I saw a lot of drop balls that should have been caught. I saw a lot of, you know, just inconsistency going up and down the field. And when you make those kind of mistakes, you know, you're gonna either it's gonna be a close game or you're gonna come out as a loser. And you know, and it was a close game. On the defensive side, you know, I felt like as a receiver, I felt like the defensive backs were like, there was too much of cushion, and there was a lot of windows open to complete for the Falcons to complete passes. And then at the end of the game, I saw, you know, coaches always tell the defensive back, especially in the late part of the game and you're hit, do not let anybody get behind you. And at the end of the game, I saw some passes that could have been completed that could have caused us to lose the game. So, you know, it's all about execution. And every coach will tell you, you know, hey, we got to eliminate our mistakes. So, you know, I was, you know, glad that they pulled the game out. But at the same time, if they're going to win the next few games, they're going to have to eliminate the mistakes. And I do feel like that they can beat Oakland, because Oakland is another team that's like Kansas City. Now, if you let them get you down and gain confidence, then they're going to beat you. But if you go in there and deliver some blows and deliver a knockout and keep them down, then you can lose the game. But and the Saints got to do that. And everybody on the Saints team need to look at themselves and say, hey, I gotta do better. When you go in there and look at that film, and evaluate yourself. And like all coaches say, hey, do your job. Do your job. Don't worry about anybody else's job. just do your job, and then everything else will take care of itself. And again, like I said, hey, I had a great weekend. Great sitting in there signing autographs for his kids and talking to them about staying in school and so forth. And seeing some of their parents who remember me, because I thought a lot of them, being young, would not remember me, but it was very exciting being there. So do you have any questions?
I wonder
That's
if
true.
you would compare Archie, as you knew him, and what you observe of Drew Brees today.
Well, I'm not going to create any controversy either. But both of them are great quarterbacks. And I think, and you also have to look at the era that Archie played in and the era that Brees is playing in. The game is a much different game. It's a much faster game. When I played and Archie played, hey, the quarterback can be knocked out, hey, picked up, and then, go get back in. There wasn't no throwing no flag or anything like this. The running backs could go down the field and get hit at any point when they're running the routes and so forth. And then as far as the wide receivers concerned, it was bump and run all the way. And if you turn your head, and I remember Jim Kearney, we were running patterns in practice one day, and Jim Kearney, and I turned my head, and Jim Kearney said, boom! He hit me upside my head, and then he said, hey, never turn your head anymore. But he hit me, and then from that point on, I had to pay more attention to running routes. But it made a difference in who was the quarterback at that time. And what I'm saying to you is that, the game has changed. Now they can't touch you after 5 yards and so forth, so the quarterback has more time to get the ball to you, and you don't have to fight as hard to get open. And it depends on what type of route you run into, because a lot of times now they're running speed routes where, just go down and turn around the ball right there. You know what I mean? And the game, like I said, the game is picked up. But as far as mechanics is so concerned, Archie and Brees have good mechanics, and they were smart quarterbacks. Now I would say though that Archie got beat up. I'm gonna tell you, he got beat up a lot, and he got some injuries that affected his arm, because one year I know when we were playing, somebody caught him in the arm, and he had to go through a lot of rehabilitation just to repair. But I think both of them are great quarterbacks.
What have you done since football, and where are you living now?
Okay, I live in the Kansas City area, about 20 minutes from downtown Kansas City, Missouri, in a town by the name of Lenexa, Kansas. And since I've been out of, football, I've done a lot of things. I've been a drug and alcohol counselor. I've been a parent school liaison, working with parents to get their kids to come to school. I work with students. The last 15 years, I was a career counselor for special needs students at a vocational high school. I assessed all the kids that had special needs that wanted to take up a trade. I had to make an assessment on and place them in the different trades and so forth. And that's really what I've always wanted to do. But I also ventured off, and my wife and I were in the Hallmark card business for 25 years also. And so I've had a lot of, diverse experience, but my main love is, dealing with those kids, because there's a lot of kids out there that got some problems and need some, just like, I forgot your name, just like Dean was saying, support. Those student athletes need support. I've also dealt with some of them too. I started an organization called After Career Enterprises, where I put on career awareness programs for student athletes also. But it's all about support when it's come down to dealing with those kids, because the way society is now, there's all kind of issues. I dealt with kids who didn't even know who their parents were. For instance, I went to one home and I wanted to talk to the adult or the guardian in the house about the kid coming to school. Well, I found out the parent, the real parent, left the kid at 6 months old, and the kid has never seen his parents. So really, the guardian in the house doesn't even have any kind of authority over this child and stuff like this here. And then you have kids that are out there that do not even have places to stay and so forth. And so what I was involved in was trying to get these kids connected to support so they can realize their education or have some success in life. And that's, to me, that's what it's all about.
So if Alabama plays your alma mater, K-State, or LSU, either or, what's the outcome of that?
I'm a Big 12 man myself, and formerly Big 8. So I have to pull for K-State, and then they're looking strong, but I know there's some strong teams out there, and LSU and Alabama are both good teams, and they don't make many mistakes. So it'll be a big contest.
Ken, I remember when you played, and I know you evaluated the game yesterday and all of the mistakes that were made. 2 questions. One, what do you think of Jimmy Graham? And I know that was one of the mistakes because he dropped one that he should have had.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, but anyway, how do you feel about Jimmy Graham? And have you ever met him? Have you ever talked to the boy?
Yeah, I have, and he has a good personality, and I think he has a lot to learn. He still doesn't know the game yet. Once he learns the game, I think he's going to be great. And I would like for him to even meet Gonzalez, because I think Gonzalez can give him some tips too. But you saw 2 of the greatest, you saw a veteran tight end that's been great over many years, and then you saw a young one in Jimmy Graham that's up and coming. And if he stays healthy, I think he can reach the same plateau as Gonzalez.
Yeah, didn't he and Gonzalez play together in the Pro Bowl or something? Yeah, they did.
Well, that's great. And see, he needs to talk to some other tight ends who know the game. But like I said, he's young and raw, because he played only basketball, so he's going to be great. Okay, all right. Okay, thanks. Well, hey, I've enjoyed being here, and good luck. Thanks.
Thanks, Henry.